Welcome to Cybercast, decoding today's cyber issues. I'm your host, Nikki Henderson. Artificial intelligence, a powerful tool that defense leaders are using to safeguard against cyber attacks now, will prove to be even more valuable in the future. The role of AI across government is primed to become bigger as the number of threats increase and the attacks get more sophisticated. Over the next decade, it is predicted that we will create more data than ever before, which will pose more challenges. Leaders across government joined us at our recent AI Gov virtual event focused on national security. And here for you are some of the highlights around challenges of AI, ethical concerns, the collaborative effort it will take to get AI right, and what the future holds. Thomas Kinney, Chief Data Officer at SOCOM, said getting a better handle on data, knowing where it is, and if it can be trusted will be key to overcoming some of those challenges.
Understanding the amount of data we're creating and being prepared, not just to store the data, because it's way more than storing the data. If we don't know where to go for the information that we need and what information is reliable when we need it, we're going to be slow to need in being able to respond to a threat.
Kinney also suggested that DoD take an ethical approach to AI, like a Hippocratic oath. Kinney said it is very important to ensure that the models will not cause any harm or damage.
Because we may have a whole bunch of ethics, but if we can't explain why a model did something, why it took an action it did, this whole thing blows up in our face. The news media blows up in our face. Congress blows up in our face. Everybody is looking at us about this happened with artificially intelligent systems that you built.
Some agencies like NSA are constantly looking for AI solutions to assist with tasks like searching through large amounts of data. Dr. Mark Segal, Deputy Director of the National Security Agency's Research Directorate, is hoping to apply machine learning to help fix certain problems within the agency, which would also help enhance the productivity and overall performance of its analysts.
This way, we can use machines to triage data so our analysts can actually focus on the problems that are most important. And really what we are not doing is replacing analysts with machines. We're trying to take our existing highly skilled, very knowledgeable analyst population and make them more productive in the work that they do.
Meanwhile, Greg McCullough, Director of Cyber Artificial Intelligence at Booz Allen Hamilton, said during the event that getting AI right and regaining our edge in cyberspace should not be solely the responsibility of government or industry. He feels it should be a collaborative effort.
And then we need to counter that by taking control of our networks, doing a more open architecture, looking through the data, setting things up to drive innovation more quickly versus relying on single tools to try to solve problems. Because tools don't solve problems, right? People do.
Zinder Lee, Program Manager of the High-End Computing Program at NASA, also talked about the importance of collaboration. Lee said NASA belongs to an interagency high-performance computing working group run by the White House Networking Information Technology Research Program. The group meets monthly to discuss a variety of initiatives and coordinate efforts to collect data for multiple projects.
So we have worked with NIH and NSF. They collect a lot of data, right? Patient data and some of the medical information, and we talked about working together to build this big knowledge graph, that kind of activities, and we jointly fund certain kind of research and development and data interrogation kind of project, data analysis projects.
According to Martin Stanley, the branch chief of strategic technology at CISA, AI will have a major impact on decision-making in the future. Stanley believes AI will give leadership the information needed to make the best decisions and also help them respond to threats.
I think longer term, and this is certainly stuff of the future, not any time in the near future, but in the longer term, we want to make sure that we have the right kind of tools and capabilities in place so that when we're executing automated responses, we have an ability to inform our leaders so that they can direct that activity. There has to be oversight over these, over these kinds of automations. When we have machines making decisions, we have to have fidelity. We have to be able to explain. We have to be able to trust all these, basic AI concepts that we're working on today.
AI will not only help federal agencies with cybersecurity issues, but also it will help them build a more contemporary IT platform. Krista Kennard, Chief of Emerging Technologies at the Department of Labor, said one of her agency's main goals for 2022 is to modernize legacy applications. DOL is also looking at transforming the customer experience.
So the way that people interact with DOL services, we want it to be modern. We want it to be digital. And I think that emerging technologies generally have a play in every single one of those goals for this coming fiscal year. And I specifically think that artificial intelligence and the compute power that comes behind it are going to be incredibly important.
Finally, Stanley has some advice for agencies thinking about exploring AI. He said there are certain criteria that should be followed when adopting AI into your workspace.
The following criteria. The first is you want to take your typical benefit, regret kinds of determination. So choose high impact and low regret kinds of scenarios to automate. Those are sort of the basic things. You want to make sure that if it doesn't go well, you're not going to regret it, big time initially. And then secondly, within those use cases, you want to identify use cases that are easily understandable, so that you can deal with that explainability, concern, and things that don't have a lot of complexity.
For more coverage on national security and AI, visit our website at governmentciomedia.com. There you can also find a full replay of this event, including videos and articles. For analysis and insider perspectives on what's trending in federal cybersecurity, follow Cybercast wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you for listening.